This is the Scenic Eclipse. She is a luxury expedition yacht and she might just be the most luxurious cruise ship in the world. This ship actually has 2 helicopters and a submarine for guests to use when they go out on their excursions. If they're in Antarctica, they can take a helicopter out, they can go in a submarine and they can play with the sea lions. I don't know, but it sounds amazing. Let me know in the comments if you would prefer to go in a helicopter or a submarine on a cruise. I think I would pick the submarine because I mean, we all know people who've been on helicopters, right? But do you know anyone who's been on a submarine? I would love to be that person. It sounds really fantastic. There's already luxury cruise ships in the world. There's loads of luxurious cruise ships. And there are already expedition ships, but these tend to be boring and anything from luxurious. The Scenic Eclipse merges these 2 ideas together. It really is a hybrid of luxury and expedition mixed together into this amazing yacht. This ship is going to be able to take passengers all over the world. It's going to be really sustainable. The passengers can take excursions on their helicopters and the submarine, and while they're on board, they're going to be treated to 6-star luxury. It sounds absolutely fantastic, and for some reason, I was allowed on board this ship. I was allowed on board this ship. A few weeks ago, I was invited to Rotterdam to see the ship just before her first sailing. Everything was kind of covered up, which I think is really a good thing because I am quite clumsy and everything on this ship is so luxurious. Everything is big brands, and if you really like good, high quality products, this is the cruise ship for you. The overall impression that I got from visiting the yacht is that a cruise on this yacht would be like having your own yacht, but not having to pay for the upkeep of a yacht, which I think is a lot of the problems with having a yacht. I haven't really looked into it before, but I imagine keeping a yacht is very, very expensive. So this is just like having your own yacht, but your crew are already paid, you've got a pilot, you've got all of this stuff going on. But there's only actually 228 passengers on board, and it feels like the ship is really huge for that number of passengers. So there's actually 10 dining options on board. They have sushi, they have teppanyaki, they have French food, they have sort of grab and go fast food as well. So there's loads and loads of options, and for that amount of people, you're gonna have so much space to yourself. There's also 8 lounges on board, so you're never gonna be trying to find somewhere to sit like you are on the big cruise ships. There's this lobby, atrium, reception area in the middle. Can you actually imagine coming back from Antarctica? You've been out, a penguin has pecked at your boots, and then you can just relax in the jacuzzi. That sounds so good. I honestly have heard that penguins might peck your boots because penguins don't really see people as predators, as they don't have to, so they're not scared of people. And I have heard about people who are on Arctic expedition cruises and the penguins literally come right up to your feet, which is out of this world cool. I can't even imagine it. As well as all of the food on board, there is actually a cookery school, so you can learn to cook. I think only 8 people can go in there at once, so you'd get really one-on-one attention. I did do a cookery thing on another cruise, which was fantastic. I would definitely recommend doing it if you are cruising on the Scenic Eclipse. All of the cabins on this ship are suites, and they all have balconies. You're not going to find a little inside cabin anywhere on this ship, apart from maybe for the crew. But I'm sure the crew are really well looked after on Scenic, because when I went on this trip, I just went to Rotterdam and there were loads of people there who work for Scenic, and I've honestly never met a group who was so passionate about their jobs and their brand. I work in insurance in my normal life and I can't say I'm particularly proud to work in insurance, but these guys who work for Scenic are really, really proud of it. And I really felt like they wanted every single passenger to have the most amazing cruise, and they would probably take it very personally if anyone found anything wrong because they all care so much about it. They also have a yoga studio which looks fantastic. Sometimes I do yoga on my lunch breaks from work and I do it in a leisure centre, in a hall, and it's just awful. And this looks like the most amazing, relaxing, it smelled so nice, and I would definitely be in there doing yoga if I did take a cruise on the Scenic Eclipse. They also have a gym and a spa, and the spa also smelled really, really nice. I'm sorry to be describing this in the smells, but I find that's what I remember is the smells. And it really smelled like freshly cut wood. It was like a steam room. It was just gorgeous. At the end of our trip, we actually sat in the theatre and we had a talk with the captain, which was really, really cool. The seats in the theatre have these massive cup holders and they recline. Since when do seats in a theatre recline? It was just amazing. I'll be very, 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 very comfortable there. Might fall asleep, but very, very comfortable. We did have a little talk from the captain, which was really, really cool. You could see how proud he was of this ship and of his job. I would be too if you were captain of a discovery yacht. You've made it, really, haven't you? That sounds fantastic. Scenic are actually a family-owned company still, and they started over 30 years ago, I believe. They started just doing coach tours, bus tours, and then progressed into river cruises. I did take a river cruise recently with Emerald Waterways, who were owned by Scenic, and that was out of this world amazing. And then after that, I think Scenic thought, what can we do next? Where is a gap in the market? I think that they looked at these luxurious ships and thought, that is great, we love luxury, but we want to go somewhere interesting. And they looked at these expedition ships and they thought, that's great, we want to go to those places, but we want to be a lot more luxurious. Expedition ships, traditionally, they don't really have a lot going on board, and they're definitely not luxurious. So this ship really is a hybrid of luxury and expedition. And it means you get to visit these crazy, crazy places like Antarctica, all while experiencing 6-star luxury, which just sounds brilliant. The actual ship has a double hull, which means that it can break through ice. It has 2 separate engine rooms. It has everything set up on this ship to be very safe and very, very sustainable. The last thing that Scenic want to do is take you to an amazing place and to damage it or leave anything there. So they actually have this amazing technology, which means that the ship can go to a place and it can stay still without dropping an anchor. Because if you were going to go to an amazing reef, you don't want to drop an anchor and just completely ruin it. So they have this technology. I have no idea how it works, to be quite honest with you. It sounds like magic, but it means that the ship can stay relatively still as if it was docked, but it's not, it's just floating. It sounds seriously cool. They also have a really cool bit of technology, which means that the ship can be stabilized even when it is at 0 speed. When the ship is not moving, it can still be stabilized. Normally, cruise ships have their stabilizers working when they are going, but when they are docked, they kind of bob around a bit. But this ship, even when it is stopped, it will be stable, which sounds fantastic. I'm so glad that it has this stabilization system. It sounds like it has really, really fantastic stabilizers, because the places that this ship is going to be going, it could be hitting some rough waters, and they really want to make the experience on board pleasant for all of the guests. Having said that, this ship is not going to just do exciting places like exciting places, that sounds mean. All of these places are exciting, but it's not going to do traditional expedition places all of the time. So sometimes it will be in polar regions, other times it might be in the Mediterranean or the Baltic. And what is really great about this ship is because it is so small, it will be able to get into all of the really, really good ports. I've been on loads of cruises where you dock somewhere and you're docked with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 even other cruise ships. And when you go into town, you just see other cruise ships. You don't really get an idea of where you are at. But with this small ship, you're not going to be docked at an industrial port with loads of other cruise ships. You're going to be able to get right into the heart of places and really explore where you're going, which sounds brilliant. I recently took a cruise to St. Petersburg, which was amazing, but there were 7 cruise ships docked there at the same time. So everything we went to see, it was kind of a game of, can you spot the other cruise ships? So it'd be like, oh, there's a Viking tour, there's a Princess tour, and I didn't really, well, I spent quite a lot of time playing that game rather than looking at what I should actually be looking at. But if you are cruising on a discovery yacht, you're not going to have that problem. The ship offers completely all-inclusive dining and beverages, which is fantastic. Once you've paid your cruise fare, there is very, very little extra that you'll need to pay for. You do have to pay to go in the helicopters and the submarine, but it's really not badly priced. It's kind of a similar price to if you were on land and you went to book a helicopter tour, but the only difference is that it is your own helicopter on your yacht. How cool would that be to be out somewhere and be like, oh, I'm just going to fly my helicopter back to my yacht. There's my yacht. I'll get off there and go for lunch. That sounds so cool. You don't get to fly the helicopter, of course, the pilot will, but even still, amazing. I love the look of this ship. It really looks like a yacht that you would maybe see in Monaco or somewhere amazing. I love the streamlined look of the front and the black and white. I think it's very classy, very elegant, and very, very luxurious. Don't forget to let me know in the comments if you would prefer to cruise on a helicopter or a submarine. I really think I'm going to go for the submarine because I can just imagine being down there and there's little sea lions floating around. It probably isn't like that, but I can imagine it being like that and it sounds so cool. Thank you for watching, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.